Then Pilate took Jesus and flogged him. The soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head. They dressed him in a purple robe and came up to him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" and struck him with their hands. They tore the flesh across his spine. The leather carved its jagged line. The Roman whip drank deep like wine. They wove a crown of thorn, the king in purple scorn. They held him king with fist and rod. They mocked the silent son of God. They beat the face that spoke the law. They spat upon the holy frame and laughed at his unbroken name. The thorns dig deep into the brow. The purple cloak hangs heavy now. The soldiers kneel in savage jest and hail the king they have undressed. Behold the man the soldiers made, a crown of thorns for renegade. The whip has carved its signature across the back of heaven's cure. Behold the man in borrowed gown, the silent king of no renown. They mock the name they cannot break. They do not know the storm they wake. The leather sang its brutal hymn on flesh that never knew a sin. The blood ran down the Roman rim. They played it thorn into his hair. The king of heaven seated there. They struck his face with open hand, a game no angel understands. The Lord of every sea and land stood silent in the purple rag while soldiers played the bragging stag. The thorns dig deep into the brow. The purple cloak hangs heavy now. The soldiers kneel in savage jest and hail the king they have undressed. Behold the man the soldiers made, a crown of thorns for renegade. The whip has carved its signature across the back of heaven's cure. Behold the man in borrowed gown, the silent king of no renown. They mock the name they cannot break. They do not know the storm they wake. The prophet spoke of silent sheep, who would not cry, who would not weep. The wound that cuts the ages deep, he opened not his mouth to them, the lamb before the butcher's pen. They dressed him in the empire shade, the purple of a king decayed. A parody of power made. They did not see beyond the jest. The true king throned upon their chest. Blood and spit, king of sorrow, throned in it they kneel and mock. They kneel and hail the laugh in flock, the wounding nail. Thorns dig deep into the brow. The purple cloak hangs heavy now. The soldiers kneel in savage jest and hail the king they have undressed. The whip has spoken on his skin. The thorn has crowned him for their sin. They raise the fist and bend the knee, a mockery for all to see. Behold the man the soldiers made, a crown of thorns for renegade. The whip has carved its signature across the back of heaven's cure. Behold the man in borrowed gown, the silent king of no renown. They kept coming up to him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" and struck him with their hands. Pilate came out again and said, "Look,
I am bringing him out to you so that you may know that I find no guilt in him." So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said, "Behold the man."
He brought him to the outer stone. The governor stood half alone. "Look at the man on whom you groan. I find no guilt, no crime, no cause." But they were sharpening their claws. The chief priest saw the thorn crown sight and screamed into the morning light, "Crucify him with all your might. Take him yourselves," the Romans said. "I find no guilt upon his head." Behold, the broken king of thorns, the flesh that Roman law adorns. The priest ignites the brutal cry, "Crucify him, crucify!" Crucify, the voices rise, the priests who speak with holy guise. They see the man, they see the thorn, and choose the one they should have mourned. Crucify, the word is flung from every consecrated tongue. The governor has found no crime, and still they choose the killing time. "We have a law," the priests replied, "and by that law he must have died. He made himself the son," they cried. "He claimed the name of God above, and so he dies by law, not love." The charge of heaven pressed him down, the Son of God, the thorny crown, the claim that turned the temple down against the carpenter who spoke and called himself the eternal oak. Behold, the broken king of thorns, the flesh that Roman law adorns. The priest ignites the brutal cry, "Crucify him, crucify!" Crucify, the voices rise, the priests who speak with holy guise. They see the man, they see the thorn, and choose the one they should have mourned. Crucify, the word is flung from every consecrated tongue. The governor has found no crime, and still they choose the killing time. The law of blasphemy was read, the ancient scroll of vengeance bled. The priest demands the Nazarene be dead. He who claims the Son is cursed. The law of Moses serves their thirst. They wrap themselves in sacred text, but every word became a hex. They killed the one the scroll reflects. The living word stood silent there, and they prepared the wooden stair. Law of stone, against the roses, against the throne. The priest demands, the priest commands, with bloody hands, with bloody hands. Behold, the broken king of thorns, the flesh that Roman law adorns. The priest ignites the brutal cry, "Crucify him, crucify!" The holy law becomes a blade. The priest has judged and Rome obeyed. He stands in purple and in thorn, the Son of God by law forsworn. Crucify! Voices rise, the priests who speak with holy guise. They see the man, they see the thorn, and choose the one they should have mourned. Crucify, the word is flung from every consecrated tongue. The Jews answered him, "We have a law, and according to that law he must die, because he made himself the Son of God." Pilate heard that word, he was even more afraid. He entered his headquarters again and said to Jesus, "Where are you from?" But Jesus gave him no answer. The Roman felt the ice inside, a fear he could no longer hide. "Where are you from?" the governor cried. The silence settled like a stone, and Pilate stood before the throne. "You will not speak to me," he said. "Do you not know the power I share? The authority to strike you dead or let you walk beyond the gate." And still the silence kept its weight. "You hold no power if not given. No earthly judge commands the living. The one who handed me tonight carries the greater sin and blight." The silence speaks what words cannot. The governor trapped inside the plot. He stands with heaven in his hall and cannot make the verdict fall. The silence speaks and Pilate shakes between the truth and what it takes. He knows he holds the innocent and knows his courage will be spent. "No power over me at all, unless it came from heaven's hall and heard the higher judgment call. The one who handed me his name carries the greater guilt and shame." From this the Roman sought release. He strained against the dark increase. He tried to find a path to peace, but every door was closing fast, and Pilate knew he could not last. "You hold no power if not given. No earthly judge commands the living. The one who handed me tonight carries the greater sin and blight." The silence speaks what words cannot. The governor trapped inside the plot. He stands with heaven in his hall and cannot make the verdict fall. The silence speaks and Pilate shakes between the truth and what it takes. He knows he holds the innocent and knows his courage will be spent. He paced the stone and searched for ground between the truth and what he found. He heard the crowd beyond the bound and knew the trap was closing tight. He knew the dark would win the fight. The servant of the empire stood between the wrong and what he should. He knew the right, he knew the good, but Caesar's shadow filled the hall, and Pilate felt his courage fall. No power if not given. No earthly judge commands the living. The one who handed me tonight carries the greater sin and blight. The silence is the judgment now. The governor with furrowed brow, between the empire and the true. He knows what he will have to do. The silence speaks what words cannot. The governor trapped inside the plot. He stands with heaven in his hall and cannot make the verdict fall. The silence speaks and Pilate shakes between the truth and what it takes. He went back outside to the Jews and kept trying to release him, but the Jews cried out, "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar."
When Pilate heard these words, He brought Jesus out and sat down on the judgment seat at a place called the Pavement, but in Hebrew, Gabbatha! Now it was the day of preparation for the Passover. He said to the Jews, "Behold your king."
Upon the pavement stone, the judgment seat of Roman bone. Behold your king in thorn alone. Away with him they tore the air. Crucify, crucify the prayer. Shall I then crucify your king, the governor's last offering? We have no king but Caesar, sing. The priests renounced the throne of God and bowed to Caesar's iron rod. No friend of Caesar you will be, if this man walks from judgment free. The empire's name hangs in the air, and Pilate knows the trap laid bare. No friend of Caesar, hear them cry, the words that make the Roman die. They choose the empire's iron hand and hand the king to Roman sand. No friend of Caesar, so he falls, the shadow of the emperor's halls. The priest has spoken for the throne. We have no king but Caesar alone. The day of preparation dawned, the sixth hour on the pavement yawned. The Paschal Lamb was being pawned. Gave him over to their claim. The governor surrendered his name. They took the Lord of Heaven's throne and led him to the skull alone. The beam across his shoulder bone. The Roman turned and washed his hands and left the king to priestly bands. No friend of Caesar you will be, if this man walks from judgment free. The empire's name hangs in the air, and Pilate knows the trap laid bare. No friend of Caesar, hear them cry, the words that make the Roman die. They choose the empire's iron hand and hand the king to Roman sand. No friend of Caesar, so he falls, the shadow of the emperor's halls. The priest has spoken for the throne. We have no king but Caesar alone. They shouted Caesar's name above. They sold the covenant of love. They killed the shepherd and the dove. Away with him they would not cease, until the pavement saw no peace. He handed him to those who kill. The governor bent to their will. The judgment seat grew cold and still. The priest had one with Caesar's lie, and God's own son was sent to die. Caesar, no throne but Rome, no voice but Caesar, no holy home. The priest renounces, the priest denounces, the empire bounces, the empire bounces. No friend of Caesar you will be, if this man walks from judgment free. The empire's name hangs in the air, and Pilate knows the trap laid bare. We have no king but Caesar cried, the priest who killed the crucified. chose the empire's iron hand and handed God to Roman's hand. No friend of Caesar, hear them cry, the words that make the Roman die. They choose the empire's iron hand and hand the king to Roman's hand. No friend of Caesar, so he falls, the shadow of the emperor's halls. Then he handed him over to them to be crucified.
So they took Jesus, and he went out, bearing his own cross, to the place called the Place of the Skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on either side, and Jesus between them.
The splinters dug a bloody track. He walked the road of utter black. The skull-shaped hill ahead, the place of all the dead. There they nailed him to the wood. Between 2 thieves the darkness stood. Above his head the title stood, in Hebrew, Latin, and in Greek. The truth the priest could not unspeak. For soldiers split his outer dress, each took a quarter of the mess. The tunic seamless in its press, they cast the lots to see who wins, and thus the ancient psalm begins. His mother stood beside the cross, her sister and the Magdalene's loss. He saw her through the blood and dross. Woman, behold your son, he said, and to the loved one bow your head. He knew that all was finished now. The scripture burned upon his brow. He said, I thirst, they would not bow. A sponge of sour wine on reed, they answered only greed with greed. He took the wine and spoke the word, it is finished. All he heard, he bowed his head and then conferred his spirit to the waiting air. The darkness swallowed every prayer. They came to break the legs of death, to still the final struggling breath. But he had already fled the flesh, no bone of his would crack. The Paschal lamb intact, the spear point found his side and drove. The blood and water interwove. The witness saw and spoke the trove, and his account is true, so that you may believe too. It is finished. It is done. Not a bone, not a bone. Water flowing, blood and breath, death unknowing, life in death. They shall look on him they have pierced, the ancient word at last released. No bone of him shall shatter now, the scripture keeps its holy vow. Behold the man the soldiers made, no friend of Caesar, hear them cry. The silence speaks what words cannot, the lamb with no bone broken lines. The water and the blood arise, the soldier's spear completes the sign. The temple and the true entwine, with no bone broken hangs. The heaven's only price. They laid Jesus there because of the Jewish day of preparation. Since the tomb was close at hand,